It was Saturday, August 15th. It was warm in Raleigh City. We were working the day watch out of traffic division. My partner's name was Fred. The boss was Captain Moody. My name's Sergeant Joe Flagg. At 5:15 p.m., we were at the corner of 10th Street and North Avenue in East Raleigh. We got a call to proceed to the crossroads, south of State Highway 14 off Low Valley Road. A southbound freight train had struck a car, stalled at the tracks, killing the driver. At the scene, my partner and I questioned the train engineer and his assistant. This is the story. All right, Fred, just the facts.
All right, here's what we got. The train was a 20-car freight pulled by a single locomotive. It picked up 2 freight cars from a siding at Raleigh Caster Company at 4 p.m. and pulled onto the main line at 4:40. At approximately 4:45, the train crossed the railway bridge and began to gather speed for the climb up the grade to Low Summit. Now, the engineer stated that the crossing signal just south of the railway bridge showed green when they passed it, meaning that the automatic crossing gate had been lowered at both Back Road Crossing and at Low Valley Road Crossing, a mile to the south, closing both crossings to automobile traffic. The train picked up considerable speed at that point, and the engineer and his assistant were watching the cab. Both men stated that as the train approached Back Road Crossing, they saw an automobile standing on the tracks. Neither man could see the crossing gate, but each was certain that the signal light at the crossing showed green in it. Emergency brakes were applied, but the train was unable to stop before colliding with the automobile. The time of the collision was approximately 4:55 p.m. The vehicle, a 1949 Ford Roadster, state vehicle license number W3317, was destroyed. The driver crushed to death. The driver carried no identification. You getting all this, Joe?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, the driver was male, Caucasian, approximately 25 years of age, about 6 feet tall, with slender build, with dark hair, wearing black pants, a black silk shirt, and sunglasses. The medical examiner reports that the driver was in poor physical condition, showed signs of deterioration associated with alcoholism, and apparently consumed as much as a pint of alcohol within the hour before he died. Motor Vehicles reports registration of the vehicle standing in the name of Otto Greasy, owner of the Greasy Garage on South Avenue in Raleigh City. Mr. Greasy reports that he rented the car at about noon on Friday to one L.I. Borough of Washington, D.C. Sergeant Flighty and I inspected the crossing signal control box at Back Road Crossing. We found signs of tampering and discovered that the red warning light had been disconnected and both signal wires connected to the green light. In the wreckage of the automobile, we found an empty pint of rye whiskey and a tattered pom-pom in the Raleigh High School colors.
Personally, Fred.
Yeah, Joe?
It was no accident that killed the driver of the 49 Ford.
Yeah?
Yeah, I call it murder.
We checked in with headquarters and we were ordered to return immediately. When we got there, Captain Moody told us we were working the night shift out of missing persons and handed us a report of a disturbance at the Grand Hotel in Raleigh City concerning one Blackfoot N. Rowley, alias Rock and Rolly. The report was filed by the manager of the hotel. The investigating officer reported that, number 1, Rock and Rolly checked into the Grand Hotel at noon today, accompanied by Joseph K. Arledge, his business manager, and was given the Grand Suite, which had been reserved for him. Number 2, Joseph K. Arledge left the hotel at 12:30 p.m. and told the desk clerk that Mr. Rowley was asleep and was not to be disturbed. Number 3, at 1:45 p.m., a message was delivered to the hotel addressed to Mr. Rowley. The desk clerk described the person who delivered the message as a young woman wearing a scarf and dark glasses. The clerk slipped the note under the door to Mr. Rowley's suite. He noticed that an exterior lock had been mounted on the door and that this lock prevented the door from being opened from within. Number 4, the desk clerk called the manager's attention to the lock, and the manager, after investigating, called the locksmith. The door to the Grand Suite was opened by the locksmith at approximately 2:50 p.m. No one was in the room, but sheets had been stripped from the bed and tied together to form an escape ladder that hung from the windowsill. Number 5, at 3:15 p.m., a bomb exploded in the room adjacent to Rock and Rolly's suite. No one was in the room at the time, and no one was hurt. The occupant of the room, one L.I. Burl, had checked out at approximately 1:15 p.m.
Fred?
Yeah, Joe?
You've done your homework.
Gee, thanks, Joe. Number 6, a white 1958 Cadillac automobile registered to Rockford and Rowley was found parked in the hotel garage. Number 7, at approximately 7 o'clock this evening, Raleigh City police officers observed Joseph K. Arledge entering Maltese Falcon Malt Shop and Cafe along with a party of several others. the captain ordered a stakeout and issued an all-points bulletin for the whereabouts of Rock and Rolly. Number 8. Police records from 5 years ago revealed that one Becky Sue Lamore, a high school student, was killed at Backroads Crossing while riding as a passenger in a 1949 Ford Roadster registered to Rockford and Rowley. Okay, Joe, that's what I got.
Good job, Fred. Now for the bad news. Each of you was wanted for questioning in the murder of an unidentified man at 4:45 p.m. this afternoon at Backroads Crossing. We're also investigating the disappearance of rock and roll musician Rock and Rolly. Captain Moody will question you later this evening concerning these facts. Until then, you may not leave these premises. Oh, and one more thing. If this case ever makes it to the evening television, the names will be changed to protect the innocent, if any of you are innocent. Please stop the tape here.
You got the Wolf Band coming to you from WOLF in Rolly City for all you broken-hearted fans out there. Here's the classic hit by our own Rattler Rolly, The Death of Becky Sue.
We were so much in love. We thought we'd never part. But there at Backroad Crossing, my whole life came apart. I said the signal light was green. Oh, the car would not start. Oh, baby, look out, because that midnight train took life away from me. And also broke my heart. I surely can't believe. But I swear that it's true. Though my heart breaks to tell it all, I have killed my Becky Sue.